Hi and welcome to day 18 of Inktober Tangles challenge 2022. I'm Anica, a CZT from Croatia, and thank you for being here with me today. So this is what we have after 17 days, so it's more than a half. Not even 3 of these tiles filled, which is very strange since last year I filled 9 tiles in 30 days and now I have less than 3 in 17 days. So I don't know why that is, but hopefully I will just continue filling and maybe have 6. But we'll see. What happens, happens. I wanted this to be really spontaneous and I'm going to continue to do it like that. Hopefully you will like it. To start with today's work, I will just extend this border because I don't intend to cross it. Today's tangle is Slowpoke by Cretacolor, a CZT, and it's a ribbon tangle. So this right here looks like something where I could place a ribbon tangle in. So I will start just drawing one line, which will be one side of this ribbon, and it's going to follow the tangle lollywimple and also just go along whatever is on the right side. And then I will add another one really close. It's an aura line. The next one will be placed a little further away from the first one, and it doesn't even have to be parallel. So, just place it. And one more aura line close to that one. See how I'm slowing down? I'm breathing. I'm not only breathing, I'm speaking while I'm doing it, which means I'm not holding my breath. So every now and then, especially when we draw these long lines, it's worth mentioning. Just, don't hold your breath, keep breathing and take it slowly with focus, intentional lines, and you won't have issues. Of course, we don't all have equally steady hands, and that's totally fine. Even, I don't always have a steady hand. There are days when I have shakier hands than normally. More or less, I can say that I'm fortunate to have a steady hand, but not all days are the same. Continuing with this wavy line along the middle, it doesn't need to be really the middle, but somewhere around it. And then I will start adding snails or spirals. I will start at the center and then just continue and curl it like this. They're not all going to be the same size, obviously, because we have this wavy line. So some of them will be bigger, some of them will be smaller, and I'm adding snails as I finish one. I start the next one right where the previous one touches this wavy line. So quite easy, and I think it's a nice tangle that goes really well with the no mistakes philosophy, because however you draw this spiral or snail, I think it will look nice. It will end up looking nice. And then I'm going to just rotate the tile like this and do the same. So always starting at the central line. And now this is a bit tricky, but I'm going to start it right here. it's easy, you know, if you are not in this particular section of the curve. And I'm again at this particular section of the curve, but I'm just, you know, I'm keeping going and adding them, and do it, you know, fearlessly. Don't overthink it, because as you add them, I'm sure that you will find a way to place them. And then, you know, with the original tangle, you would add an orb in each of these triangular spaces next to the borders, but I think I will just go with an aura line, and I will ink it in just to achieve some more contrast. So of course you can play with some variations, or as we like to say, tangulations. Feel free to add some details that you prefer. Okay, here I am. I'm thinking about maybe adding some more weight to some sections of my spirals. So I think I will just start by drawing like an aura. So giving it a little bit more body by drawing this small kind of an aura line, or maybe adding some more interest to it. Maybe not, if you don't like what you're seeing, just, you know, feel free to skip it. I'm thinking about doing the same along these opposite sides, at least in these big ones, but I think I can do it in the small ones too. Okay, like this. They're really, you know, it's very close, a line that's positioned very close to the original one, so it doesn't take too much space, and I think that it's clearly visible even with this additional line that, you know, it's a snail or a spiral, whatever you like to call it. And I guess that's it. Another thing that I think might look nice is just a small rounding right where my lines meet the central lines. So by doing this, we will again increase the contrast. And generally when you do something like this, you kind of make it appear as it's, you know, glued to the line or to whatever it's attached to. In this case, it's the central line. We have kind of, or I have kind of given this a slightly different appearance just with these small alterations. So if you fancy it, you know, the direction that I took, you can do it too. If not, you can stick to the original tangle. I will add shade right where my ribbon disappears below the border and also below another tangle. And I will also add a shade along the sides of the ribbon. So I'm not going over the Nero aura line. Instead, I'm only going along the aura line. And then, of course, take your blending stump and blend these shades again very gently if you are using the original Renaissance styles before they switched to the new paper. so that you don't peel off the surface of it. And I'm going to add highlight along the middle of the ribbon, which is of course just one way to shade it or to highlight it. You could maybe try doing something with each of these snails inside the ribbon, but I'm not doing this because I added these details to the snails and it's quite narrow, you know, and small. So I don't think that I have enough space to play with the shading and highlighting of each individual snail. But I think this looks quite nice. I would like maybe to spread this shade on the side a little bit more towards the middle. And it's difficult for me to do it with my blending stump because I'm afraid that I will, you know, ruin the surface of the paper. So I have to blend it really carefully. So instead I'm just lightly also adding some shade with my pencil again. And then I will just add a few dots, like the shiniest highlights, along the mid part of this ribbon. But you can see that I'm like trying not to cover this motif. And I'm kind of happy with what it looks like, so yay, I'm done with day 18. Thank you for being here with me, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye.